staying on top of breaking news right now. The prosecution set to speak at the top of the hour. This after the president's son, Hunter Biden, has been convicted on all 3 counts in his federal gun trial. Right after the verdict, Hunter was seen holding hands with the First Lady and his wife as they left the courthouse. Earlier, I spoke with NewsNation political editor and host of The Hill Sunday, Chris Stirewalt, on what happens next.
Well, it is a moment in history, but it's also not unusual for first families to have black sheep, to have problematic members. I think what's significant about Hunter Biden is that he's being prosecuted while his father's principal adversary in the presidential election is also in the criminal justice system. And that sharpens it. It increases the stakes. It makes it more important to voters, makes it more significant than if this was just another Roger Clinton or Billy Carter or one of the Bush brothers. We've had it before. We've been around this before, but never in the context of an ongoing presidential election where one of the nominees has been convicted of a crime himself.
Never in the context of an ongoing political election where also things are so tight, Chris. Chris, this verdict today, will this have any weight?
Well, it depends on how Hunter Biden and his team deal with it. Hunter Biden's conduct in contesting these charges and fighting them and making a public spectacle of himself and coming to Congress and the legal tactics that they've used have been undoubtedly harmful to his father's chances for reelection. It's been a really extraordinarily selfish display. And now the question is, so you have a jury verdict. It's not to say that he wouldn't be able to appeal, but they have to emphasize respect for the jury system, respect for the verdict, respect. It has to be deferential, and it has to acknowledge his guilt. The reality here is that Hunter Biden's crimes, or the crime in this case that he's been convicted of, are weighed against, in every instance, how Donald Trump is dealing with his own prosecution. So it's really incumbent on Hunter Biden to find a new tone and find a new tack that's of deference and respect, because otherwise it mitigates the advantage that Democrats obtain from Donald Trump's own legal problems.
And Chris, unfortunately, though, for Hunter, this is not the end. This is only the beginning of the end. Hunter still faces more legal trouble in the state of California.
Sure. And, you know, it's none of my business what happens inside the Biden family. But I will tell you that as a matter of political practice, in my observation of the way people practice politics, Hunter Biden, who made all this money and had all of these opportunities explicitly because of who his father was and because of his father's career and because of his access inside lofty Democratic circles, Hunter Biden owes every nickel he's made to his status as the son of a former senator, former vice president, now president. If he does not find it within himself to resolve these matters expeditiously, even if it means going to prison, even if it means those things, then it's a pretty towering ingratitude to his father and, by the way, a pretty profound way to undercut the mission that his father says is so essential in saving democracy and keeping America alive, that Hunter Biden would allow his own ambitions here and his own desire to avoid consequences interfere with that. Seems pretty astonishingly selfish.
Well, if we're talking about nepotism on full display, we definitely can see that he definitely profited. And what you're saying, Chris, is that if you know you've done these things, Hunter, now is the time to actually fall on the cross, step up, and save your father's campaign.
Yeah, be of service here. If Hunter Biden's dad had been an auto mechanic from Wilmington, he would not have been jetting around the world making tens of millions of dollars for all of these things. He owes something he owes a lot to his father, and he has, by the way, abused the privileges. He admits, and everyone can see that he abused the privileges that were afforded to him by his position, and now you have to pay the piper. And that's life in the big city, folks.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.